I'm going to dive like pretty fast into the first topic because I want to maximize the time we do have for this. So, Mukesh, if those entrepreneurs who are listening in right now, visionary leaders, business owners, you could be a visionary in any space, right? You could be a parent who wants to be the best parent in the world. We're not here to kind of like box visionaries into one category, but you've accomplished a lot. You got a lot of followers. You're helping 15,100 people, achieve financial freedom. You got vetted by Barbara Ann Gardenhire Mills of Purpose Driven Solutions and Evolutions. And she's somebody who I know does her work in terms of making sure people are a good fit. And you come in as a super nice, awesome guy who's ready to just like go with the flow, hit me with the best punches, Jackson, etc. So I got to ask, what are three resources that have helped you get to where you are as a leader?
I would definitely like to thank Stephen Covey's Seven Habits book. That's a very, very first one. Um, uh, I learned a ton from him, and I've referenced him in my books at many places. That's number one. Number two, I would love to share Gary Chapman's Five Love Languages.
Oh,
Um,
yes.
Beauty,
Both of
beauty.
those. Yes. I'm just like,
Fourth
I don't
class,
ever hear
right?
that one on this show though. And so I'm glad you said it.
Yeah, it's beautiful. And third book, I would even if I am allowed, I will put third mine, like Seven Steps to the Fulfilled Life. If only I can choose three. Otherwise, there's a long list I can share.
I love that. I love so 7 steps
To a fulfilled life.
to a fulfilled life. All right. I'm really happy about that because I do find it curious how many leaders have assets like that they've created, and they they try to play with humility so much that they don't talk about their own resources. But it's like, if you put your soul into this, you know what I mean? Like, if you've
Yeah.
compiled all the things that you've learned in order to create a resource that you feel is that important, then say it. You know,
Yeah.
that's not humility. Like, just say it, dude. Give us the value. You have that confidence. So thank you for sharing that. Um, those first two are world-class resources that I'm very, very familiar with. Your book is something that I'm not quite familiar with yet. So talk to me about,
It's
what's different about it. What's it going to add to our lives?
See, it's launching on 6th of November, so it's not out there, but I'll
Ooh,
um next week. I'll how about I share a personal story a little bit that how this book came out. Are you okay with that?
of
Should I
course.
say? So, see, I was born in a very small town in India, and my dad was a franchisee of a very successful logistics company. And so the things were good, money was good. But one day, this franchisor brothers, they had a conflict within their home, and they decided to shut down the business, which meant my family, my father wouldn't have a business. So, but then he started looking some other businesses. He couldn't find anything which was a kind of a very similar type of business. So my uncle, one of my uncle, then proposed to start their own logistics company, and that's what they did. However, they didn't realize that this new business of that scale, it had more overheads than the previous one. It had um, kind of the mindset, the skill set, and the capitals required to run this kind of business was different than what they were working as a franchisee. So the franchisor versus franchisee, it was different.
Yep.
And that, my dad used to be behind paying wages some months. He was stuck. He couldn't see the path forward. And and this is the stuck. I'm using this word stuck. And my mom, so that pushed my mom into a mindset of scarcity and anxiety, which was a reflection of the environment, how she was brought up with her seven sisters in a home. And and at that time I couldn't do much help because I was also working as a very lost young man. So then one of my friend encouraged me to come to Australia, and I came to Australia again, and then worked and studied masters in accounting. And after completing my master in CP, I started my own accounting company, and I was successfully looking after the clients, but I was still unfulfilled. I was, for some months I will sign a few clients, I'll start looking after them, then I'll feel like, oh, I'm missing something, and and this is very similar to my young years that I've been stuck, lost, jealous, anxious, not present, and I was feeling the same now, even after having a good business for 6 years. Um, then I stopped for a moment, took a pause, and I reflected on what I've been going through those emotions. I invited two of my team members into a conference room, and we talked from on the whiteboard from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m., Monday to Saturday, 3 months in a row. Who we are, what we're doing, why we're here. And that was the kind of a most intense process that I never been to. And that gave us the first stage is that gave us the value system.
Mm-hmm.
We came out from that room with our core values: happiness, freedom, and win win. And
Interesting.
that
So
was a
you
start.
guys, let me make sure I understood that correctly.
Yeah,
You did Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. for 3 months straight,
3 months straight.
incubating on your life purpose.
That's it.
That's awesome. I
That was
love that.
beautiful.
That's
Beautiful.
really cool.
And that was 2017. And then we came out of that room. And see, this happened in stages. I couldn't say, oh, that was great feeling, because we didn't know that there was further more to do. And then
Oh yeah.
now I came out, I'm very happy. We know that, okay, now we know that. Now we understand that, what to do. And we have our own values. Now we can make our decisions based on our values. And that's what we started doing.
Love it.
And then by reading, listening, now I at least knew that what to read, what to listen. I found this word, serving.
Mm-hmm.
And that was the aha moment. That got me out of my miserable, empty life. This word serving. And I kept asking myself that what does that mean to me? How does that relate to me? And then I found that my purpose, my fulfillment lies in helping other people get fulfilled,
Mm.
getting them unstuck, helping them with the path that so that they can be present, helping them with get the abundance mindset, not be jealous and mean like I used to be. And I found it. And that was aha moment. Now I know what to do. I got my values, I got my purpose, and I'm still stuck. Okay, how do I achieve that now? What do I do? I started reading again. There's so many leadership books, this and that. And then I really needed some place, one framework where I could put everything in there. As you start, as you mentioned in the very start, that there are people who pretend, and there's so much there. Even I acknowledge that. And
Oh
I,
yeah.
I felt this. I felt this. Then I came up with this my value system that I started in 2017, transformed into this 7-step fulfillment system, which changed me from feeling like a headless chicken to a fulfilled human being. Now I am complete. With this system, it helps me every day. It helps me to bring every learning out there, and all the now point of views, all lessons, all teachings can coexist in harmony within this system. Now I am not someone who is not present. Now I am with clear purpose. And I want to share this beautiful system that helps me on a daily basis. That so that people out there who feel like stuck and lost like I used to, they could live
Mm.
a fulfilled life. It's a universal system which you can use anytime in any situation, whether it's a personal, business, career, relationship, family, whatever. It will provide you the solution which is aligned with you, who you want to be, who you are. It is the answer to all your life's questions.
I'll add one caveat.
Yeah.
I will add one big caveat, listeners. It can, or it could. I don't agree with the will aspect because you have your own free will. You get to choose what you do with what's told. I can lead a horse to water, but I can't make it drink. Right?
Beautiful.
We can't force you to have success. We can't force you to leave your challenges behind. We don't have that power. Mukesh and I don't have that. And it is mathematicians, if you will, two mathematicians on a chalkboard, right? Writing and building formulas. If they're willing to look at each other's chalkboards and share, they might end up with a better math formula together,
Yeah.
as is. So this is something that I love your path. I love what you've done. I love where you're headed with it. I love your heart and your intent. I love the process that you have. I'm excited to see more of it because what you're doing overlaps so well with what we are doing and how we're building things. And I need more mathematicians around me in order to unlock the best of the best formulas that exist out there for the audience at hand. You said you spent 3 months in incubation, right? 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. What's really fun is I spent 2 years in Uruguay and I
Beautiful.
was in incubation for 2 years. And it was Monday through Sunday, 6
Beautiful.
a.m. until 10 p.m.
Wow.
And that process also led by a lot of resources that Stephen Covey himself created.
Beautiful.
So it led to a lot of eye-opening discoveries. And the point with that is it's not my 2 years, listeners, versus Mukesh's 3 months. Some people look at life that way. That's not the abundant mindset. That's the scarcity, scared, inferior. We're all in survival instinct. Let's attack each other. No, no, no. Add my 2 years. Add Mukesh's 3 months. Add your own life and recognize that no, he didn't just live for 3 months. He's got a whole life of background of experience, immigrating from one country to another. Understand, exploring cultural differences that exist. There's so much value that we can unpack. And my hope is that you take whatever steps out of what Mukesh shares and whatever steps out of what I share throughout this experience, and you meditate on what's most important for you, what's going to help you get to that next level. We're going to do our best to unlock that as we keep going through this. We're going to take a short break, a little commercial break for me to get some water. We're going to come back and we're going to talk about Mukesh's vision at large and how we can help each of you achieve more financial freedom and a fulfilled life for yourself so that you can also show up in your life happy, at peace, with joy, and this feelings that allow us to amplify every moment of our day and be present. That's what we want. We want you to have, I want to be present. Mukesh, thank you for being present with me on this. We'll be right back and we'll dive in. All right. Welcome in to Vision Pros Live with Jackson Callum. I'm your show host. We'll be doing interviews for visionary entrepreneurs and guest leaders who are building fantastic visions out there. And welcome into another episode of Vision Pros Live. I'm your show host, Jackson Callum, founder and CEO of First Class Business, and I am super excited to have Mukesh Bajaj on stage with me today. This is a man who has dedicated his life as of 2017 to understanding fulfillment and a purpose-driven life. That doesn't mean that he didn't have essence of that before that time period, but there are people in this life who they get a great career built out, they move forward, and later in life figure out, you know what, I don't feel that alignment with purpose. Well, he's that guy. He's the one that you should be listening to in relation to how do you get out of being stuck in a scenario where you haven't found purpose yet in life. In my case, I've been studying purpose since I was a child. I had a dad who left at a very young age. My mom was constantly guiding me towards new opportunities and new ways of looking at things. And when I was 9 years old, I became an uncle, and I started to look at life and say, what's a dad? I want to be a dad. I want to figure this out. And so self-awareness kicked in pretty young, through the divorce process, through that, and made me really start to look at and see and ask dads everywhere, like, what do you do? Do you like working at the bank? Do you like this or that? And I saw a lot of adults early on teaching me, like, don't take the path that they had taken. And it led me to look at life from a perspective of, you know what? I'm not going to focus my life on the money and the wealth and the riches and the definitions the world wants. I've very much lived my life in alignment with striving to make sure I maximize my purpose. And so we have two very different paths in this process. And my hope is that all of you who are listening in may find some goodness from both of our stories that can uplift your alignment with your purpose. I still seek that every single day myself. I'm a student of life, just like all of you are. We're all here to learn together. Before we bring Mukesh back on board, some of the there are certain entities that have really aligned well with us and that help me do just that. One of them is Dave Morrow at the hardtokill.org organization. Hard to Kill is designed to help 100,000 veterans lose 2 million pounds collectively. And Dave has been one of my favorite leaders to work with over the last several years. He's opened his community up from just a support for veterans to civilians like myself as well. Come and join us for free in the Hard to Kill community. Get your workout on. It's time to look good, feel good, and do good. And I definitely recommend checking out his podcast as well. He's often bringing on great leaders. And one more fun research regarding him, look up Dave Morrow and the word Afghanistan and learn about some of the work he did to help people in that zone and create peace. New York Times wrote an article about him. Then there's the next sponsor. That would be Oportunidades de Trabajo para Latinos. Opportunities for work for Latinos has launched. Filipinos has launched, and for Indians has also launched. We've got some great leaders who are helping us with this initiative. What we do is we provide free job training and free career coaching for people in those countries so they can learn to become excellent virtual assistants, as most of the world calls them. We call it digital ambassadors. We're training people in order to understand how to find jobs and find clients for us as well, leaders who would be great fits for our podcasts. And the Latino team is a little bit far ahead right now. They've got their own podcast associated with it. If you're a Latino leader, apply to be on that show. Come and inspire other Latinos. We've got billions of people to help in this world. And one of the ways we're going to do that is giving back and giving opportunities, helping people catch the vision for hope that, oh, you know what? I didn't know I could get hired online. Most of them have no idea. They think they have to be certified in advance. They think they have to have certain skill sets in advance. They don't. They just need some help knowing that there are opportunities, and we want to provide that to them. So come and join us on that. Then there's the Water Project. We're not associated with the Water Project, but the Water Project caught my attention. It caught my heart. Started to meditate on it. I've never been thirsty in my life, not truly thirsty. And I found out that millions of people don't even have access to clean drinking water. And when that came across my radar, I decided to start thinking about this project more often. I also decided to donate to it and realized that when you donate to one of the water projects, you get to see that project come to fruition. They send you the evidence of where your money went. And I love that transparency about what they do. Look at these next pictures. You're going to see kids that celebrate water the way my kids celebrate Christmas Day, as a very humbling reality. Again, we've got so much to do together. You may not be in a financial position to give back right now. And if that's the case, my hope is that you start talking about this with friends and family. Bring it up in conversations, inspire others to get involved. You never know how much somebody else may give just by you talking about these subjects. And if there's another cause that you'd rather see us support, then please drop the causes that you support in the comments so we can all get engaged and help each other. Again, we got 8 billion people to help. And my hope is that we all pull together to do just that. So without further ado, we're going to get some help ourselves right now, welcoming Mukesh back to the stage. Mukesh, thanks so much for joining me on Vision Pros Live, my friend.
Thank you for having me. I'm very grateful and excited. Thank you.
Absolutely. To dive right in, what's your vision for the people that you serve?
For people I want to serve so that they could live a fulfilled life and create a financial freedom for themselves and for their loved ones. If I start from what a fulfillment and fulfilled life, those 7 steps,
Mhm.
that that everyone is feeling grateful. That's the step one.
Yeah. What is a
Number
fulfilled life? Help me out with that first. What would you define as a fulfilled life?
for me, fulfilled life is that um, practice, practicing my values, which is happiness, freedom, win-win, and having
I
a
like
purpose which is bigger than me. That actively work with 15,100 people,
this is
listen
really
to their
cool
stories.
that you're bringing these up because
Yeah.
we are big on vision first. Obviously, the show indicates that, right? Once we have a clear vision, then we build a great culture. And for us, vision and culture aligns around values and
Yeah.
purpose.
Yeah.
Those are two of the keys for our 12-step guide for how to recognize market leaders and ones that we might
Okay.
want to work with. And the vision and the culture leads to, for us, attracting great leaders to want us to help build upon. But you're right. Your recipe, your ingredients are right. They're exactly what we stand for and what we build towards. Our values are love, patience, persistence, consistency, and reliability. The love is the
Beautiful.
cheat code for me, man, because love encompasses all virtues. So we still have we can't deny or reject any virtue if we're truly loving. But you mentioned three earlier, and I want to bring those back up again. One of them I think I heard was family. I think one was happiness. But can you remind me what were the three?
Happiness, freedom, and win-win.
Happiness, freedom, and win-win. Very good.
Yeah. So these are
Okay.
three. What I've done is I've like categorized my values into two categories. So this is my end values, which is happiness, freedom, win-win, and then my main values to what I practice to get there is resourceful and integrity and innovation and then excellence. So these are my 4 values which I practice to get to this. This is the outcome that I get: happiness, freedom, win-win.
Yes.
When I practice these four,
That's all. And you can't have the outcome if you don't have the you don't have can't have the output, right? If you don't have the input for it. So
that's it.
and you also mentioned serving in there. That's probably why. And I gravitate towards family.
Yeah,
On just like a natural instinct almost.
yeah.
So thank you for helping me see that more clearly. Love that. Please continue.
So those people that are grateful that everyone that my vision is for everyone to live a fulfilled life and create a financial freedom for them. However, I've chosen 15,100 people that I want to work actively, and I dissect the number as well. That if I coach 100 people and those 100 can look after their 100,
Mhm.
so these are 10,000 people. Now we include the people in our life circle, which is, you mentioned, that family, friends, community, spouse, kids, parents, especially, that we, forget otherwise in our life. So that's when we include, that gives me 15,100 people. And I'm saying 15,000 is an obligation for me alone.
Yeah.
And then similarly, if everyone finds their own 15,100, we will start a ripple effect.
Right.
So these are the people that I can actively be for them. When they give me a phone call, I can call them back if I'm not at at the phone at that time. But these 15,100, I commit myself personally. Similarly, the people then they commit their own community.
Yeah.
So that's what it starts. So that's first thing is be grateful for those people. Second step is aligning and there are 10 elements in our fulfillment visa. So activities, behavior, habits, beliefs, goals, values, character. purpose, principles, environment. So these 10 elements, when they are aligned, then you create a fulfilled life. When you have a goal, when you have a purpose, and you have activities and habits aligned to that. For example, my purpose in life is to help people achieve financial freedom and a fulfilled life. So
Mhm.
one of my activity is then be on conversation with you, share this knowledge and framework with people, with community, answer their question. This is the activity. My
Right.
habits, how do I practice this, the thing I'm talking about, those timeless principles. And when I make habit of those values, practices, my habits are aligned with the bigger purpose. So this is step two, that I want everyone to align their own activities with their own purpose. Someone want to be a singer, so then writing music, listening to music, creating music, that will be the activity which they need to align to become the best singer. If someone want to create a restaurant business, hospitality business,
Hmm.
so serving, creating the dishes, those things will be the activities aligned to their hospitality business as a purpose.
Yep.
As a parent, being with the kids is the activity, not obligation, not like a forced thing.
Hmm.
If you are a parent, so activities aligned to. So that's step two. Step three is knowing your win. Now, in this framework, in this step, I share a 30 cells framework, which is holistic. But you ask me what fulfillment means is when you understand these 30 cells, then you have answers to those questions that, which is, I break down them into six elements that are the needs. Like again, this is my way of breaking them down. You can break it down in 50 or 5,000, your choice. But I've broken down into 30 and I share how the six needs. Look at the first one is a brand,
Hmm.
second is money, third is time, fourth is skill, fifth is health, sixth is experience. So these are the six core needs, what my core needs are. Brand at the very top, as I have put them in hierarchy, you can change it, you can mix and match.
Right.
For me, brand, money, time, skill, health, and experience. Where brand is not just the logo. Brand is about what I stand for, what my values and purpose is. And that dictates everything in my life. And now I've got five life circles that I share in this. So me as first life circle, then my family. Now third one is the business, employment, career life circle, the people in those circles. Fourth one is the community, extended families. And fifth one is the spiritual, non-spiritual connection, life cycle. So when you see now six rows, five columns, 30 cells, or you can relate cells if you are a person with, in from biology, it's like a cells in the body.
Yep.
Or if you are a number person, then it's a cells like a Excel sheet. You got 30 cells, right? And knowing the answers to those questions, that what do I want? How much money do I need for myself, for my family, for my community? Where do I want to spend my next 168 hours of a week? When I have those answers, that is that I know where does my fulfillment lie.
Yeah. One of the things I love about all that you're revealing is that you're not presenting something that sounds, feels, or acts like a get rich quick program. And that's something that I want to honor about all that you're sharing. I mean, you've pretty much unleashed a fire hose or a fire hydrant on us, which is a good thing. I'm like, okay, there's more depth that I've got to dive into if I'm going to really get this. Right. All these systems and how they connect, you have a lot of clarity for you on what that looks like. And with that, it's kind of like the book Atomic Habits, right? Or the book of Radical Candor. There are certain charts that people have to be willing to dedicate themselves to understand how to unlock that depth for themselves. So we as listeners, we have to be willing to do our part to gain this type of a value, to find our purpose, to find our fulfillment, to unlock financial freedom for ourselves if we're going to go about this. And I would tie it too, if we're going to go about this in a holistic way. Are there other ways to gain wealth? There are. Absolutely. There are lots of powers that can help you do that. Some of them are good, some of them are bad, and some of them are nasty. It very much depends on, do you appreciate the journey of the process, or are you just looking for a certain destination? This is a show very much about journey. So realize you're going to have to pick up some of these pieces if you want to use them. And of course, you can reach out to Mukesh. You can reach out to me to help with that process. Let's take a quick pivot though, Mukesh. We're going to dive into a few of the core questions that I'm sure you've passed along your way. What is the worst leadership experience that you've ever had?
See, before finding 7-step fulfillment system, I can count there was many
Hmm.
bad leadership experience, even my own. When I've been leader, I'm doing the bad things, bad
Okay.
habits, and I'll pick one that I really want to share today. That how did it,
It's good.
that what was the bad experience I did. So this is my cousin and my team member, my staff, and and I had my office was in India, in Delhi, and my hometown was from 200K, um, far away from Delhi. So this my cousin sister, she was from my hometown, right?
Hmm.
And I had some kind of a, you can say, financial challenge. I was stuck, and so then I thought to myself that it'll be a good idea if my cousin sister, if she was working for someone else in my hometown, because it'll be easy for her, and because knowing that she was the only child, to look after her parents, and I somehow I made that assumption, and I talked to one of my friend company in my hometown, and arranged her job there without asking her. Now, I was thinking that I was doing the right thing, because I was thinking that I'm just giving her an opportunity, and it was hometown, she'll be happy. But I didn't ask her.
Yep.
And then I realized that I should have asked her when. That leads to that step 4.
Hmm.
I needed to ask, what does she want? With curiosity and empathy, rather than assuming that I'm doing the right thing for her. And I apologize even with this live audience to her, that I should have asked you. Now I understand that, because now I have the system which tells me that I should have asked you. And I'm sorry for that I didn't ask.
Yeah.
So that was the experience I remember, that which I now know that the system will alert me that I should have asked people before
Right.
I am making decision on their behalf.
Absolutely. It's helpful to
Yeah.
have boundaries. Fantastic book, Boundaries in Marriage. And there's other boundaries in the workplace, etc. They got a whole series on the process. It's very helpful to be aware of those. What about on the best side? What's your best leadership experience ever?
Okay, I'll share another personal story here that was the best one. I wouldn't pick up the work one. I will pick up again. So this was again, now I've found 7 SFS. So this is best experience. I'll share that. Uh, this is a COVID-19 time, and I'm building our dream home. And during that COVID-19, as we know, that supply of products and materials not happening.
Hmm.
Some suppliers left, some contractors left, half finished jobs. unmet deadlines. A few went under, got bankrupt, and I've given them, um, given them some advance. They have given the quotations. They're not working with us now, and I had to then become project coordinator to support the builder because he was also getting, kind of a very low because of the whole situation. Prices increased. Existing contractors asked for the, to revise the price to double even in some instances, right? But I was still able to be calm, be grateful, even in that chaos. And that's what I will see, that was a power of not mine. I've never been that person. It just, the system helped me, that be grateful. And then what happens is my dad passed away in the last month of when I was getting the keys. My dad passed away. He's in India,
Mhm.
and we didn't know it happened suddenly. Even that time, I think I can still be the person I want to be, and that's what I would say, that this is the best experience in my life, that even I can, you know, I'm very happy that it happened, how
I
it
hear you.
happened.
I hear you. My condolences on your father passing away, and congratulations on having that centeredness and peace. To recognize I guess, the presence of peace, joy, right, fulfillment, being able to carry that through a difficult experience isn't something that most people are capable of doing. And whether, for those of you listening in, if any of you have lost relatives recently or even today or getting the news, there's still a value to the grief process, right? It doesn't mean you have to be happy the moment something happens, but we're talking about the deeper level of um, putting yourself in a position to where you've got the emotional, physical, mental capacity to process those experiences and to know how those experiences relate to your purpose. I remember losing my grandpa while I was on my mission in Uruguay, and it was 2 months before I got home. So I almost got to come home and see him, and I was so looking forward to telling him about my experiences. And so that night, I got the news, and I went out into a private garden and prayed, and that that led to, I mean, the only word that I think is appropriate for it is a revelation of just what it meant for my family, and what things were occurring within my family at that time where it was necessary for him to go home to God. And so those those types of experiences, they still hurt. We still feel it. We still have grieving to do. And are you diving into resources that are helping you in your life, again, process, appreciate, be able to stay centered around gratitude and maximize the days that you do have and the time that you have? So thank you for sharing that, because that is a deep subject that not many people have dove into on the show. And I can always use the benefit of thinking through that process in my own life for the many family members I have, and all of us as entrepreneurs, as visionaries rather. If we have multiple people in our lives, there are multiple chances of disruption for the flow of what it is that we want to accomplish. And so thank you for sharing that, Mukesh. If this is your last chance ever to share a powerful lesson with the world, what powerful lesson can other visionaries learn from your experience?
I would say that I would acknowledge my flaws, that this is my first book I'm writing, and there will be imperfections. I'm not a seasoned podcaster, so you would find a lot of flaws, how I answer the question, how I share my story. But I will tell that this system is complete. It gives me the energy and resilience. This gives me the courage to be here with you today and share this message. The system helps me with my imposter syndrome. It gives me the courage to not wait 10 more years before I could polish myself and all my, sentences and grammars and everything. I want to say just it's important for me that I share it with you now when I'm having these challenges, when I'm on the journey right now with you, and saying that if this system helps me, just give it a go. You may find your own fulfillment. So that's what I want to share. This just give it a go.
Just good to go. I love that. And I love the way that you humbly approach the reality of where you're at. You've been able to accomplish a lot. You have a lot to look forward to. I appreciate you acknowledging the journey we have too, right? That's one of those areas that a lot of people who listen to this show, they're the quiet ones. They're not the ones who comment, right? They're the ones who are a little bit scared to get involved publicly about things because they don't want to mess up. They're worried that they're going to get it wrong. They're worried that they'll be called out. They're worried that there will be a backlash, that imposter syndrome you talked about too. It's something that we all face and have to go through. And one of the things that kind of comes to mind as you move on your journey, do I have permission to play with you in relation to some of the opportunities that you have for growth as a podcaster? And I'll only do that if you can feel the love and me sharing with you some of the things that I picked up on today that will, one, help the audience and help you. And why do I want to do that? Because I believe in your vision,
Beautiful.
because I
I'm all
see
in. Yeah.
the virtues and the values and what you're doing. You're all in?
Yep.
Okay. There's a quote that comes to mind. And I know some of you listening are going to be like, dude, you just roasted Mukesh. And no, I'm not. That's one way to look at it. The quote is, when we start selling a hammer, everything starts to look like a nail. Have you ever heard that before?
Yeah, I've heard that called before. Yeah.
I think that one of the challenges you'll face as a podcast guest is that if you reference your book every single time somebody asks you a question or wants you to dive into a natural present path, it can feel like you are that person trying to sell the hammer at every chance you get. And it's not a fair reality or perspective because obviously it's done a lot for you. But the more naturally you begin to unlock the path that the book provides versus the mechanics of the book, the more likely people will not label you as a leader who's just constantly referencing this book in a world where a lot of people are just promoting their books to make money, to get on stage, to have a reason for being present. I would hate to see you get caught up in that that level of leadership, because if we were to put A to F grades on it, those types of leaders never are the A players. The A players are the ones who are able to extract and produce and pronounce their value to the world. And the resources that exist behind it, they're still there. They're still accessible, but they have this gift for portraying it in a way that doesn't come across as mechanical. I'm still learning that. I am not an A player at this stage. Is that a fair statement?
Can I share my?
Of
Okay.
course you can.
So first of all, I thank you for your feedback. I
Yes.
totally love your feedback. Only I want to share that I'm not here selling anything.
Mhm.
This is my opportunity to share this something that helps me every day. Whether you buy something from me, it's okay. I want to just share at every moment, every step, because if I die tomorrow, at least I'll be dying fulfilled that I was sharing this message with
Yes.
everyone because it helps me every day. And I, unless, as also I've heard this quote that as a visionaries, as a leaders, we have to repeat ourselves because it's only one system. And I will repeat this my whole life. And how many times? I don't know, millions of times.
And our goal
And
is
this
to
is
refine
true.
that, right?
Yeah,
That's our goal, you and me as leaders,
yeah,
right? How do we refine
yeah.
it to where we can optimize it to the point where the sphere of influence expands, right? Much
Beautiful.
like somebody who's been through Alcoholics Anonymous, and they might rave and get excited about it and tell people all about it, but their level of influence isn't going to expand
Yeah,
until they learn to share that in a more productive way. and
Beautiful.
attract them, attract leaders who can put them on bigger stages as well. So we're still in. And so here's one of the other truths that I love about this, Mukesh.
Yep.
You represent the majority of visionaries out there. You relate to them. You are the individual that, and I think I am too in that regard. It's like I haven't been on TED Talks. I'm not hanging out with Tony Robbins every day. I'm not Mark Cuban's best friend. Like I've got a long way to go on my journey. And so there's a certain type, again, most people out there, I think everybody's a visionary. I think everybody's a leader. And some of them haven't given themselves permission to do this yet. So a lot of them will see or hear a podcast like this and be like, oh, maybe I can do that. Maybe I too can move forward and make this happen. And again, while we relate now, our audience is going to benefit tremendously from seeing you go to the next level, go to the next level,
Yep.
go to the next level, go to the next level and beyond. And your willingness to share vulnerably too, that I couldn't have had this conversation with you right now had you not been willing to acknowledge your vulnerable reality that you are human and that you're new to the podcasting world. My friends, we have 2,100 episodes. I am new to podcasting myself, right? Let's put that in full perspective. I'm not Johnny Dumas of Entrepreneur on Fire, right? I'm not Lewis Howes of School of Greatness. I have to work behind the scenes with their stuff. I get to watch Jimmy Kimmel and I go, oh my gosh, I have so far to go to really get to those next levels. But
Can I add?
that doesn't take away from our value and the value of what we can provide in the here and now. It is once again the opportunity for the rest of you out there to be inspired and say, maybe I have something that I can give in the here and now, and I don't have to wait to do it later, as Mukesh talked about. Of course, you can speak, Mukesh. You're up, brother.
So my what I wanted to also share here is again my point of view. I'm just saying my point of view
I
is
love
that
it.
milestones for me who is only to provide the direction and the journey. And when I say I'm really fulfilled now, if I get to the next level, I'm happy. But this is the level I want to be right now. And with the people who are like not want to be a big or bigger goals or celebrities, it's okay.
Yep.
It's okay to be who you are and pick up a small goal and live a very good life. Just be with your little goals and enjoy those little goals and activities achieving that. And I want to be just like that with people who want to just pick up and just any goal
The
without
thing I
being.
challenge on that though, visionaries, is again, it's not Mukesh's job or mine to define yours, just like
Yeah.
it's not mine to define Mukesh's. And that's something I
Yeah.
really stand for as the
Yeah.
leader of Vision Pros is I don't like that's fine but you have what you have and it's fantastic. But don't
Yeah.
project on my audience what they should do. I
No.
don't do that
No.
to my audience either. They
No.
deserve that respect and freedom to be able to dream that without those limitations placed upon them by somebody else. And or
Yeah.
somebody projecting that they have to go a certain way. We as people, we have the opportunity to step into our own. And so my reality related to that most I don't see a lot of books talk about, but Feelings Buried Alive, Never Die talks about it really well. And You Can't Teach a Kid to Ride a Bike at a Seminar allude to this really well. And that is that my belief is we are perfect in our existing state. And that
Yeah.
my soul should honor y'all's souls, everybody that's out there, including Mukesh, of course. And change is also perfect. And so I have a new opportunity every day to be my best self. And if I am my best self, well, I already know that the trajectory means I'm rising and that's a
Yeah.
natural byproduct of showing up each day. So it's not a matter of worrying about it, forcing it, living for it. I live in my moment too. And
Beautiful.
so our goal for you, my goal for you guys, and I believe Mukesh is on this too. We simply want to give. right? We want
That's
to
it.
give as much as we can. And if there are financial transactions that occur as a byproduct of that, that's okay. That is a natural byproduct of showing up and producing results in this world. I won't downplay it. I won't say it's not there. I won't say it doesn't exist. I won't even say I don't want it, because that would be inauthentic and untrue for me. If I didn't want it, I would give my book away for free, 100%.
Yeah.
So knowing how to again, articulate these things, there's different stages and levels Mukesh and I will both be arriving at as the 5 or 10 years likely goes by. So I really appreciate your friendship. I really appreciate the time that you took on the show. I know we're just going overboard here on time. How are you doing on time, Mukesh? Because I don't want to rush off, but I also don't want to hold you hostage.
No, I'm fine. You know, you take your time. I'm happy. I'm happy
Okay.
to answer any questions
I
you have.
do
Yeah.
have a meeting
Okay.
coming up, but Vision
Yep.
Pros, I want to make sure we wrap this up the right way. So number one, the action steps. By the way, I want everybody to know this. If I didn't like Mukesh and I didn't like his philosophies or what he's doing, I would delete this episode. I would bury the landing page. I would not put action steps associated with the show. That is not the case at all. I love the formulas that he's up to, and I look forward to being two mathematicians getting to know each other's formulas for years to come and saying, oh, cool, he's got that little puzzle piece that I was missing on my side. And my resources, Mukesh, will always be open to you as well if you see fit and see them as being beneficial. I see a huge collaboration opportunity between 7 Steps Fulfillment and Passion Pro. Go ahead.
I remember that one story. This is one of the Bollywood star, very, very like top Bollywood star. He shared in one of the interview that his son doesn't listen his advice, and even everyone goes to his, you know, the star's advice for acting. And then I learned that it's the same message that we all sharing, different stories, different words, same timeless principle. And it can happen that even my own son may not listen to me, and he may listen to you. And therefore, it is important that it's not about who we are listening to, it's about the right message. Stephen
Correct.
Covey said the same thing. I'm also following him, that when he said that he didn't design those 7 habits, same way I didn't design these principles being there. It's my way of just putting together, which helps me.
Yes.
And if my son listens to you and gets that message and follow that message, love it. And this is how I see that's why we need so many people sharing the message in their own words, own stories, so that someone will pick up something out of it in their own time.
Champion level advice and principle and perspective. I absolutely love it. Again, that's why we're ultra grateful to have you on the show. And below the action steps, my friends, we'll have the resources that we talked about, from Stephen Covey to Gary Chapman and beyond. We'll have each of those down in that section, including the book that Mukesh is launching right now, 7 Steps to a Fulfilled Life. And we have one more call to action in the top right corner. If you've got a vision, you want to come on and share it in this show, click the button that says Be Our Guest, apply to be on the show. And we'd love to hear your holistic vision about how you're helping people out there as well. Come and debate me if you want to. Come and uplift our message. Come and share whatever it is that you're up to. We can't. I don't think we can spread too much light in this world. I think we got more light to share, more love to share with the world, and we will. I can't do that alone. I need each of you visionaries to come and help me do just that. So Mukesh, thanks for being here today. And Vision Pros, we'll see you guys on the next episode. Thank you for being here today. I'm really happy that you tuned in to Vision Pros Live. I'm looking forward to seeing your reactions as these episodes continue to move forward. This is going to get more and more fun. We'll have more and more engagement as well. We'll invite people to participate in the show. And thank you for giving us your time and attention. Have an excellent time building out